Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the March 5th Zoning Committee Work Session. My name is Douglas A. Welton. I am the chairman of the Zoning Committee. This meeting is being streamed online via YouTube in accordance with all applicable meeting statutes. Requirements for notice, access, and minutes are being met by electronic means. A few orders of business before we get started here tonight. If you're a member of the commission, please keep your mic muted when you're not speaking. And if you are going to make a motion or a second, please state your name for those listening at home. The public hearing for the zoning petitions that we are hearing here tonight have been held at a previous date in front of Charlotte City Council and the Zoning Committee. This is not a continuation of those hearings, so there will be no public input unless the committee has a specific question, in which case the committee will suspend the session and ask the petitioner directly. We will begin this evening with our introductions, and we'll begin all the way to the right with committee introductions from Ms. Wilden.
Rebecca Wilden, zoning.
Clayton Seeley, zoning.
Will Russell, zoning.
Shauna Neely, zoning.
Rick Winiker, zoning.
All right, thank you. We will not be joined by Commissioner Lansdell tonight, who, as many of you know, is running for some state office. And so that's fine. He's off doing his thing. Now we will be introducing the members of the staff, and we'll begin all the way to my left with Mr. Pettin.
Thank you, Dave Pettin, planning staff.
Max Oliver, planning staff.
John Kinley, planning staff.
Joe Mangum, planning staff.
Holly Kramer, planning staff. Raquel Jones, planning staff.
Emma Canarajas, planning staff.
Great. And we have some online participants. And if those of you online would say who you are so we can know who we're talking to.
Jake Carpenter with CDOT.
Travis Miller with CDOT. Isaiah Washington, CDOT.
Natalie King, CDOT.
Drew Ritter, CDOT.
Is that everybody? Then thank you very much, CDOT folks online. We'll begin our session tonight by taking a look at any possible deferrals or withdrawals. Mr. Pettin, can you update us on that?
Certainly. We've got a few deferrals for this evening. 3 as listed on our agenda, items 1, 2, and 3, petition 2020-071, petition 2022-224, and petition 2023-091 as listed. And then we also have petition 2023-015, which is item number 11 on our agenda, all requesting a deferral to our April 2nd zoning committee meeting.
All right. Do I hear a motion for the disposition of these deferrals from the committee?
Winiker, move to defer.
Russell, second.
All right. All those in favor of accepting the deferrals, please say aye. Any opposed? All right, that passes, and we will get started on our little adventure tonight with item number 4. It is rezoning petition number 1989-080 by Bruce and Shirley White. And this is an innovative request, which usually Solomon comes and tells us about. But tonight, we're blessed by having Mr. John Kinley give us the information.
That's right. So as you know, I changed roles into the UDO administration, zoning administration section. And so taking some of the work that Solomon is doing and helping him out. And so looking at this innovative request that we got, it's R20 MF in the Selwyn Farms subdivision. That's an old legacy zoning ordinance. And as you know that you guys y'all have looked at these before in the past, but basically it delegates the authority to you all to make any or approve any changes requested to the setback and yard requirements that might have been approved during their as an innovative provision on their conditional rezoning. So it's 805 Blackburn Court, which is shown and highlighted on the map. This is the approved site plan 1989-80. And you can see on the approved rezoning plan, the rear setback was shown to be kind of parallel to this rear back property line. And that's the area that's kind of in question today. And we'll go to the next slide. So this is what was actually approved on the subdivision plat. And you can see that they're showing a 25-foot rear setback more at a 90-degree angle to the hammerhead. And so that's what we were left with the building envelope. And then if you go to the next slide, so what actually got constructed was a house that the very corner of encroaches 2.94 feet into that rear 25-foot setback. So the request is to reduce the rear yard to 22 feet to accommodate that rear corner of the house to allow the existing home to remain. And that gets it cleaned up for these folks who are trying to sell the property. So for basically get clear title on the property. Next slide. Following items are requested for the innovative provisions. It's a reduction in the rear yard from 25 feet to 22 feet. And staff recommends approval of the innovative request and the reduction of the required rear yard, and there's not any outstanding issues.
Thank you very much, John. My understanding is that all we need is a motion to approve this innovative request. So do I hear a motion to approve this innovative request?
Motion to approve, Seeley.
Russell second.
It's been moved by Seeley and seconded by Russell. All those in favor of approval, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Then this petition passes 6-0. And we are.
Thank you all and have a great night.
You're gonna do the same thing that Solomon always does, run right out of the room when he's finished. Does it come with the job? The part of the description must leave zoning meeting immediately. All right, thanks. John, we'll see you. Hey, maybe we'll see you next month. Yeah, we're up to item number 5 on our agenda, rezoning petition number 2022-029 by Wade Miller and Skyline Towns LLC. And it says Claire, so I'm assuming Claire is again Dave.
Yes, I am both Claire and Michael this evening, and maybe myself. We will see.
Wow,
So
that's some kind of Siamese twins act. Anyway.
So we've got 2022-029. It's about 1.3 acres on Siegel Ave, just across from Van Every Street. It's zoned currently URCCD, as well as some ML2, and they are requesting a site plan amendment to the original URC conditional zoning, which would modify some of the previous entitlements and then add some additional property that they were able to acquire through some agreements with the railroad right away. Place type for this particular property is neighborhood 2, as well as some parks and preserves. The proposal, which was previously approved under 2021-05, really doesn't change anything about it. I think during the public hearing, I incorrectly stated that it did reduce the unit count, which it does not. Actually keeps the unit count as is. A lot of those units are actually built and would increase the non-residential square footage from 3,900 square feet to 6,000 square feet. You can see that down in the left corner there in red. Does amend some language pertaining to some of the existing buildings and some phase lines to clean up some issues that we ran into during permitting. But again, most of the entitlements are essentially the same with just that small increase in the non-residential square footage. Staff does recommend approval of the petition. Just upon resolution, some outstanding issues, which we have been in communication with the petitioner team, and they have emailed us some written commitments and changes to some of the notes that would clean up those outstanding issues. So it should move forward to decision without any of those still outstanding. So again, it's consistent overall with the neighborhood 2 place type. The inconsistency with that Parks and Preserve is not something we were significantly concerned about. And really a lot of the tree save area that they are proposing for the project generally aligns with where that Parks and Preserve place type would be. So not a far stretch as far as the inconsistency goes there. So with that, we'll take any questions you have.
Thank you, Dave. Do we have any questions from anybody on the commission? Hearing none, do I have a motion for the disposition of item number 5 on our agenda, rezoning petition 2022-029?
Motion to approve Wilden. Having reviewed the petition and consider the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, I move that we recommend approval of petition number 2022-029 as it appears before us.
Russell second.
It's been moved by Wilden and seconded by Russell. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 6-0. We're on to item number 6 on our agenda tonight, rezoning petition number 2022-09 or 079 by Well Pappas Corporate Parcel Owner LLC. Holly, will you take us through this, please?
Yes, so this site is approximately 2.23 acres in the Midtown area with some direct adjacency to Pearl Street Park and some medical offices at the intersection of Pearl Parkway and Kenilworth Avenue. It's currently zoned neighborhood center and office flex campus. The neighborhood center is as a result of the pedestrian overlay that was over most of that area. And then that has that small sliver of office flex campus that was outside of the pedestrian overlay. And they're proposing to go to mixed use development district optional. The 2040 policy map calls for a community activity center at this site. The proposal itself is for a mixed-use development with up to 35,000 square feet of commercial uses, 12,000 of which must be located on the ground floor, 450 multifamily residential units, 100,000 square feet of office, and up to 150 hotel rooms. There's a request for an optional provision that would allow for a maximum height of 275 feet. And that would be for approximately 1/3 of the site in development area 1, which is in that darker blue shade. Development area 2 would have a maximum height of 200 feet, which is in alignment with what you see in max levels of CAC2 zoning district, for example. There are several environmental friendly commitments that are made in the plan, including setting aside 30% of the parking spaces as EV capable, 15% of spaces as EV ready, and 6% of parking spaces with installed EV charging stations. They'll also use environmental development building standards across the site. As part of the rezoning, the petitioner committed to a housing trust fund contribution, which has since changed since the public hearing, so I'll detail that in a moment. There are a number of transportation and pedscape improvements that would be made, including upgrading the sidewalks and planting strips, installing accessible pedestrian signal push buttons, and upgrading the ramps to be ADA compliant. So since the public hearing, as I noted, they made a change, and I think that was also introduced at the public hearing itself. But the changes to the conditional note would state that if a height over 200 feet is achieved for a building across the site, they would increase the housing trust fund contribution to $375,000. And they also added a conditional note stating that petitioner commits to a minority women and small business enterprises plan with a goal of 10% or greater utilization of those firms and the awarding of the contracts or subcontracts during the construction of the site. Those are the only two changes we had. We didn't have outstanding issues going into the public hearing, but those were introduced at the public hearing. So I think everybody's a little bit familiar with those. Staff recommends approval of this petition. Although it is inconsistent with the Community Activity Center place type, the land uses proposed and the scale of the majority of the project are compatible with Community Activity Center. And the site is not situated against sensitive land uses such as single-family neighborhoods. So we believe that the application of the Regional Activity Center place type here is supported, given the site's general proximity to our most dense cores of the city, and the request is further justified by those environmental commitments and other community benefits such as the Housing Trust Fund contribution. I'll take any questions.
Thank you very much, Holly. Does anybody have any questions, comments? Because they're easy to please tonight. Do I hear a motion for the disposition of this petition? I shouldn't have said that out loud. Is it the commentator's curse now? You guys are going to be whatever. Do I hear a motion for the disposition of this item number 6?
Seeley, having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, I move that we recommend approval of petition number 2022-079 and the adoption of the consistency statement as it appears before us.
Neely, second.
Boom. We have has been approved by Seeley, or has been motioned by Seeley and seconded by Neely. And you know we love that combo like we love I would say the Panthers, but that would be a lot. Just drag them under the bus, didn't I? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And that passes 6-0. All right, we're rolling now. We're up to item number 7 on the agenda, rezoning petition number 2022-107 by Park Mimo LLC. Did I get that right? Claire, this is you again.
All right, thank you. This petition 2022-107 is just an acre off of Parkwood, really at the end of Mimosa and near the intersections of both Hawthorne and where Parkwood intersects with the plaza. It's currently zoned N1C and N2B, and then they are requesting a UR2 conditional. Place type is for neighborhood 1 in this general location with some neighborhood center at that intersection there at Parkwood and the plaza. This proposal would allow up to 18 single-family attached residential units, would limit building height to 35 feet and 45 feet as noted on the site plan. The smaller or lower structures would be the ones that are starting to get into that area on the back end of the property where they're closer and adjacent to some of those single family lots there. The 45 feet would be the 6 units that are fronting Parkwood. Would prohibit vehicular access from Mimosa Avenue unless needed by emergency responders. Ingress and egress would be off of Parkwood via private drive. Does commit to improve streetscapes along Parkwood for an 8-foot planting strip and 8-foot sidewalk, as well as installing an ADA compliant bus waiting pad and trash receptacle along Parkwood Avenue as coordinated with CATS. Also provides for some architectural standards for building materials, facade treatments, and blank wall expanses. Also allows for some combination of materials like glass, brick, stone, precast concrete, et cetera. And then illustrates a 6-foot wood fencing and evergreen screening shrub along the east and west property lines. Did make some changes since the public hearing, did add some language stating the stormwater detention structures would not be connected to Mimosa Avenue. We also got some emails recently on 2 of the outstanding issues being addressed and committed to being addressed by the petitioner, mainly just some cleanup note changes that don't affect the overall outcome of the site, just some things that needed better clarification in the notes. So again, a couple of outstanding issues to speak of, but they're actually resolved, just waiting on a revised plan after this meeting. We do recommend approval, and we'll take any questions you might have.
Thank you, Dave. I have a quickie and I cannot get the site plan up on my iPad here. Where is usually you have to mark on there where the trash, the solid waste stuff will be reserved. And I didn't see that. And I meant to, like I said, if I could pull it up, I probably could find it, but
Yeah, let me try and take a look real quick and see if we can identify it.
Because this is a very narrow lot and I'm just wondering what kind of magic they're going to work trying to turn a truck around in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of clouding on this plan. Definitely want to try and get a cleaned up version to stamp when it's time. But it looks like, I don't think we have a pointer. I'll just get up.
Okay. Oh, okay. Never would have seen that. Thank you.
It's a very busy plan.
Okay.
But that's where the trash receptacles are. At least proposed. They may still do private.
Yeah, they can.
If they have to put them in, that's where they would go.
Okay. All right. It's just a very, very narrow lot, but the density is very interesting. Do I hear are there any questions beside mine on this particular one? If not,
I just want to comment.
go ahead, please comment.
I just want to appreciate the petitioner. They held 2 community meetings. And during the second community meeting, it was stated that they felt that the petitioner really took to heart the things that they wanted changed from the first one. And so I just want to applaud the petitioner for listening and making changes.
Thank you. Anybody else? Do I hear a motion for the disposition of item number, do not scroll until you're past that, item number 7 on our agenda? Anybody?
Neely, motion to approve, having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition. I move that we recommend approval of petition number 2022-107.
Second, Wilden.
It's been motioned by Neely and seconded by Wilden. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? That passes 6-0. We're on to item number 8 tonight. Rezoning petition number 2022-154 by Real Estate Properties Holding LLC. And Max, this is your debut tonight.
Yes. Petition 2022-154 is located at the southeast intersection of Sledge Road, Shopton Road West, west of Steel Creek Road. The site is approximately 6.5 acres and it's currently vacant. Property is zoned N1A, Neighborhood 1. Proposed zoning is N1D, Neighborhood 1, a conventional zoning district. 2040 policy map recommends the Neighborhood 1 place type. N1D district is consistent with this place type. This is a conventional rezoning petition. There's not an associated site plan and would permit any uses allowed in the N1D district. Staff recommends approval of the petition as the N1D district aligns with the policy map and the development pattern prescribed by the Neighborhood 1 place type and permitted by the N1D district is consistent with the character of this area. I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Max. Commissioners, do we have any questions, comments? Hearing none, do I have a motion for the disposition of item number 8 on our agenda?
All right, Russell to approve. Having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, I move that we recommend approval of petition 2022-154 as it appears before us and the adoption of the consistency statement as it appears before us.
Second, Neely.
It's been motioned by Russell and seconded by Neely. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, we're on to item number 9 on our agenda, rezoning petition number 2022-210 by RRPVISEBP Charlotte LP.
Elemental.
Yes, and I don't know, does that spell something backwards? There's a code in there, I suppose. I don't know. We won't worry about it too much at this moment, but Holly, could you tell us about this petition?
Sure.
Oh, yes, the National Treasure issue.
So this site is just over 45.5 acres on the north side of Clanton Road, west side of South Tryon Street, bound by I-77 on the site's western edge. It's located in the broader south end area, as you can see here, where we've seen a lot of redevelopment supported by the multimodal transit that we have there. Site is largely zoned manufacturing logistics 1, but there's also small portions that are CG in red there and B2 conditional. And there is a little bit of mud, which is as a result of the school rezoning from a while back that's just north of the site. The proposed zoning is mixed use development district optional and mixed use development district optional site plan amendment for that small portion of mud that is on the site. 2040 policy map calls for manufacturing logistics on the site. And the proposal itself, and I'll go detail this as it was presented at the public hearing, so bear with me, and then we'll go through all the changes that have happened since.
Thank you. We love bearing with you. Go ahead.
Okay. The proposal would allow for 760,000 square feet of office uses, 330,000 square feet of, I repeated that, 760,000 square, oh my gosh. Thousand square feet.
Would you like to start again?
About 330,000 square feet of commercial uses, 290 hotel rooms, and 1,560 residential units. So it has a maximum building height of 180 feet across the site. And there are a number of optional provisions that I'll go over, including accessory surface parking permitted on portions of the site on an interim basis, and also allowed for temporary uses, allow surface parking maneuvering between the established setback for the purpose of things like valet parking and rideshare services. And that can be permitted for up to 50 spaces, but no more than 10 of those spaces may be contiguous. Allow up to 7 loading or drop-off spaces on public streets, allow compliance with open space and tree save requirements to be met throughout the entire rezoning site, allow modifications to the required streetscape to preserve existing trees, so that would include meandering sidewalks to preserve existing trees, allow modifications to the required public and network required street cross sections between Trade Park Court and North Tryon to the end of the existing cul-de-sac and St. Vardell from Clanton Street to Public Street B. Allow encroachments to the public right-of-way for outdoor dining and amenity areas, and to not require doorways to be recessed into the face of the building so long as we maintain a 6-foot clearance and pedestrian zone. Allow required long-term bike, scooter, or similar parking spaces for the uses to be located within the parking decks in between buildings and streets. And allow buildings to use limited instances of wall treatments other than windows to meet fenestration standards. Allow maximum building height of 180 feet, which I already mentioned. And allow drive-in windows as an accessory to principal uses in development areas A and D. There are also a lot of pedestrian improvements included in this plan, including new sidewalks, bike facilities, upgraded street crossings, and also a contribution of $50,000 for roadway or multimodal improvements in the broader South End area. They also provide articulation standards for minimum ground floor heights, blank wall limitations, transparency standards, mod-based facade modulation, and build-to zones. They would allow for a gas station and specifies design standards for that gas station that would mirror the prescribed conditions that we have in the UDO, which includes allowing canopies in the build-to zone, but to be located a minimum of 15 feet from the setback. And gas stations must meet standards of the district with the exception of minimum building length and ground floor height. The plan would allow for drive-throughs in development areas A and D with design standards related to minimum parking stacking spaces, minimum dimensions for stacking spaces, and stacking lanes and windows to be located at the rear or the side of the building, parking lot screening, and bailout capability. That again reflects prescribed conditions that you can read in the UDO. So it just took that right out there. A couple of environmental commitments are made in the plan, which would include providing a minimum of 30% more open space than what is required in the base MUD district. And they would also either increase open space by an additional 20% for a total of 50% above MUD requirements, or donate $250,000 towards the improvements of a park near the site. And they worked out some of that language with Parks and Rec and had some close communication there. Green building standards will also be used for 50% of the buildings. So since the public hearing, you probably noticed maybe on the pre-hearing staff analysis, we had a number of outstanding issues to work through. It's a big plan, so it's not unexpected that we had all these outstanding issues. But we were able to address all technical revisions. And we also got further limitation for the gas station uses. So gas stations and drive-throughs could only be located in development area A2. So that's at the very corner right off the interstate. Development area A2. So the very southwest little portion of the corner. Yeah. Yeah, I need a laser flag. And they also noted that no more than 2 drive-through windows would be permitted. It added a commitment to 25 EV-ready spaces to be installed prior to phase 2 throughout the site. They added a commitment to provide an ADA-compliant bus stop along Clanton Road in coordination with CATS. They also added a conditional note regarding phase 2, the transportation improvements. Added more conditional notes for phase 1B of the transportation improvements. They increased the minimum ground floor height for all residential uses up to 12 feet. I think it was previously 10. Increased the minimum transparency for upper floors to 20% for primary street frontages and 15% for all other street frontages. They added more gas station design standards to specify minimum ground floor height of 14 feet, a maximum of 8 pumps, so that would service 16 cars at a time, and a commitment to orient canopies to the rear or the side of the building. They also added more of the drive-through design standards that we are looking for, including a note that drive-through lanes and aisles may not be located between primary streets and the facade of the building, and that seat walls may be used to enhance the pedestrian environment. So we made a lot of progress in the 2 weeks since the public hearing and worked through a lot of those items that were outstanding, especially all those tricky design standards related to gas stations and drive-throughs. So I think that the notes that we have on there now do frankly go above and beyond the prescribed conditions that we have in the UDO for those uses. So it was good to see that, but also it was really important for us to get further limitation on where those uses would occur on the site. So they're occurring right next to where you'd expect it to be the most auto-centric, right off the interstate there. And after all that, we only have one remaining outstanding issue, and it's fairly minor. It's related to the minimum ground floor height of some of the multifamily uses. So we're looking for them to modify the conditional notes to specify that multifamily uses located along main streets will have a minimum ground floor height of 16 feet rather than 12 feet. So just increasing that a little bit just along the main streets. And that's the only outstanding issue we have left. And I guess I could go over the staff recommendation. It's pretty long, but. Okay, well, let's just get to questions. I'll take any questions.
Thank you very much, Holly. And that was a mouthful, as they would say. I will just, because I want to be first tonight, that's the way we'll go. There was a TIS. All of those issues were addressed, et cetera. And I'm just asking this question because during the public hearing, there was a comment about the amount of traffic, but as I read it, all of those issues have been addressed,
Yes,
correct?
all CDOT issues are addressed. The TIS was accepted. We're all good there.
Okay, all right, I'm just want that in there so that if a councilman were to read that, they would know. Just saying. Commissioner Russell.
Yes, so I know that during council meeting, there was this push for more community involvement, but I mean, if you look at the geography, there really aren't any single-family neighborhoods in close proximity to where this is going to be developed. You've got some areas that are there across the interstate, but that has no direct impact on them. I do know for a fact that the petitioner has done a pretty good job of soliciting community leaders and community neighbors. So I think they've taken into account their thoughts and wishes. And I, quite frankly, has had a pretty open and honest dialogue with those folks. So I am not opposed to this. I mean, obviously, guys don't like drive-throughs and gas stations, but considering where it is, it's on a major interstate. I can live with that on this petition. Thanks.
Does anyone else have any comments? You, Commissioner Wilden?
Yeah, I just want to echo what was just said, especially around the gas station. Well, you'll hear later my thoughts on gas stations, but I do just think, like, especially for this one, I think you don't want to let the perfect be the enemy of the good. There's so much good that is trying to make this like a space for people to gather. And honestly, I love it. Not gonna lie. It's never the gas station, but like, what else?
Thank you, Commissioner Wilden. Your comments are very much on target.
Oh, Target.
Target, said target.
Is this gonna have a
Are there any other comments or questions about this petition? This is a serious meeting, people. Anything else? Otherwise, do I hear a motion for the disposition of petition or item number 9 on our agenda?
Motion Seeley, having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, I move that we recommend approval of petition number 2022-210 as it appears before us and the adoption of the consistency statement.
Russell, second.
It's been moved by Seeley and seconded by Russell. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Another 6-0 for us tonight. We're on up to item number 10 on our agenda, rezoning petition number 2022-216 by Quick Trip Corporation. Max, could you give us the information we need?
Yes, petition 2022-216 is bound by the east side of Lake Brook Road, north side of Center Grove Lane, west side of Sam Wilson Road, and south side of Interstate 85. The site is approximately 3.55 acres and is currently vacant. The majority of the property is zone CG, general commercial, with the portion of the rear along Lake Brook Road zone N1A, neighborhood 1. Proposed zoning is I1CD. Industrial conditional, a legacy district. Its 2040 policy map recommends the manufacturing and logistics place type for the site. The I-1 district is consistent with the M&L place type. The site's directly abutting the northbound off-ramp of I-85 and located along an existing major thoroughfare. Automotive service stations and convenience stores are permitted by right in industrial districts under the zoning ordinance and conditionally in commercial and M&L districts under the UDO. Manufacturing and logistics place type calls for service and retail developments that support workers in the area, calls for streets and sites to prioritize access for motor vehicles while still serving other modes. Proposal calls for only the development of a convenience store not to exceed 6,000 square feet with gasoline and diesel fuel pumps, as well as any incidental or accessory uses. The number of diesel fuel bays located on the site serving tractor trailer trucks shall be limited to 4, so that a maximum of 4 tractor trailers may receive fuel at one time. Plan specifically prohibits parking of tractor trailer trucks, overnight parking of vehicles, truck washes, shower facilities, truck stops, drive-throughs, car washes, and industrial uses. Architecturally, the building will be limited to 25 feet, and the designs will match the renderings included in the conditional rezoning. Following transportation improvements have been proposed: 12-foot multi-use path and 8-foot planting strip along Sam Wilson Road, 6-foot sidewalk and 8-foot planting strip along the site's frontages with Center Grove Lane and Lakebrook Road. Sidewalks shall be located outside of the street right away as it's located within the ETJ. A permanent sidewalk easement extending a minimum of 2 feet behind the sidewalk will be provided where feasible. Required rights of way dedication will be conveyed prior to the issuance of the first CO. There are no outstanding issues. Staff recommends approval of this petition as it's consistent with the M&L place type. The property is partially zoned for commercial. It's abutting an I-85 exit, and the M&L place type calls for automotive services while supporting other modes of travel. Happy to take any questions.
Thanks, Max. You said something about sidewalks because it's in the ETJ. Can you say that sentence to me again?
Yes, so the property is located outside of Charlotte city limits in the extraterritorial jurisdiction. So CDOT will not be able to maintain the sidewalks. NCDOT will not maintain sidewalks. So it has to be located on the property, and they are providing a sidewalk easement.
Thank you very much. Anyone have any questions, comments? This is a gas station.
Oh, no. I'm waiting for this. Okay. So I had to write this down so I wouldn't get heated. A high impact gas station is not compatible with the adopted 2040 Charlotte Future Comprehensive Plan. A new massive fueling station use isn't what we look for when we think of 15-minute neighborhoods. Additionally, new underground gas storage has environmental harms and impacts that limit future development. It's the wrong choice for the neighborhood, especially with 4 gas stations within less than a 5-minute drive.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Does anybody else have any comments, questions?
Mic drop.
Yeah. Symbolic mic drop. You know, with our AV stuff in here, you don't want to drop it too many times.
It doesn't work.
All right, if nobody else has any questions, comments, do I hear a motion for the disposition of item number 10 on our agenda, rezoning petition 2022-216?
I don't know how other people feel. Having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement, no, sit down. You gotta vote in a second. Prepared by staff to deny this petition, I move that we recommend denial of this petition number 2022-216.
Second, Seeley.
It's been moved by Wilden and seconded by Seeley. All those in favor, and let's get the language right, in favor of this denial, please say yay and aye. Yay.
Aye. Yay.
All right, that's 4. And those opposed to the denial, please say nay. Nay. So that's 4-2. This petition is denied. Do we get that? All right, the nays need to come up with craft a statement. You got a statement?
Oh, do I?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, just make sure that it is gets to, Max needs it, so.
Max, I'll email it, or do you want me to say it out loud again?
No, if you can email it, that'd be perfect. So you already read it.
I had to write it down.
You've got my email, I think.
Yeah.
If I
and-
don't, I'll find it.
And then there needs to be a statement from the nays. You got something? Do you want to do it, or I can do something as well?
Yeah, I mean, again, this is a gas station. It's not necessarily the best thing in the world, but considering that it is located right off a major interstate, the confluence of 2 major interstates, and that it will be used for the intended purposes of refueling cars, I think it is appropriate for the use and location.
And I will just tag on to that. We have done a couple of rezonings that are related to industrial uses in this area as well. And therefore, I believe there's probably going to be a need for those trucks to fill up at the truck filling part. So that's That's all I got to say. All right, we're good? All right, we're on to 11 was deferred, right? We're on to number 12. Rezoning petition number 2023-018 by NVR Inc. And Joe, would you take us through this one, please?
Thank you. This is approximately 14.2 acres located on the north side of Ridge Road, east of Odell School Road, and west of Moorhead Road. Current zoning is N1A. Proposed zoning is R17 MFCD. 2040 policy map recommends neighborhood 1 place type. Proposal is for a community of up to 121 single-family attached dwellings at a density of 8.59 units per acre. There are 2 development areas separated by a private driveway. Includes a 50-foot Class C buffer, which may be reduced to 37.5 feet with a fence for abutting single-family detached zoning. And also a half 100-foot Class A buffer, 50 feet, which may be reduced to 37.5 feet with a berm where adjacent to industrial zoning. Commits to a 30-foot setback along Ridge Road. Limits the number of units to no more than 5 per building, with no more than 4 per building facing Ridge Road. Commits to the widening of Ridge Road to accommodate a 2-way left turn lane and right turn lanes into the site. And commits to an 8-foot planting strip and 12-foot multi-use path along the site's Ridge Road frontage. Despite the inconsistency, would provide a variety of housing options in the area. Buildings fronting Ridge Road are mostly consistent with neighborhood 1 place type. Would improve multimodal mobility with the multi-use path. And staff recommends approval. There are no outstanding issues, and I'll take any questions.
Thank you very much, Joe. I have a simple question. What is a half 100-foot Class A buffer, and why isn't it just a 50-foot Class A buffer?
I think I'm going to phone a friend because Max is much more knowledgeable on the old ordinance than I am.
So the ordinance has provisions to reduce the buffer's width when you put in place things like a fence. So it's not that it's a 50-foot buffer. The width of the buffer is based on acreage. So the acreage would, in this case, would require a 100-foot buffer, and you're reducing it from there.
I will pretend that I got all that and I'm good with it. Yeah, it was just one of those obvious things that I had to ask, and now the public knows. Thank you very much, Max.
It was written 30 years ago.
Very, very, very large and capable brain. Thank you. Anyone else have any questions? Commissioner Russell?
Yeah, so this one I'm a little confused by. So the existing zoning is N1A, but the new zoning is be R17MF. And I wasn't aware there was an R17MF designation in the new UDO. So why did it go to a R17MF as opposed to a multifamily classification in the UDO?
So this petition was submitted before it was required that you had to submit under a UDO district.
Oh.
And I forget if it was when you couldn't or if it was when you had the option. Might have been when you had the option. If you look on the existing zoning map, there is R17 MFCD across this Ridge Road. I think they wanted to be able to point to that as a comp. But that's why it's in whole district.
You good? Anyone else have a question? Still, you guys are very easy tonight. Do I hear a motion for the disposition of item number 12 on our agenda, rezoning petition 2023-018?
Motion to approve, having reviewed having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, I move that we recommend approval of petition number 2023-018 and the adoption of the consistency statement.
Is there a second out there?
Second, Seely.
Thank you. It's been moved by Neely and seconded by Seely. All those in favor of this motion, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes 6-0. We're on to item number 13 on the agenda, rezoning petition number 2023-047 by Gustafson Partners Commercial Real Estate. And Max, please take us through this one.
Petition 2023-047 is located on the south side of North Lake Creek Drive, west of Reams Road and south of W.T. Harris Boulevard. Site is approximately 1.263 acres in size and is currently vacant. Site's currently zoned B2 CD General Business Conditional. Proposed zoning is B2 CD SPA, a Business Conditional Site Plan Amendment, which is a legacy zoning district. 2040 policy map recommends the Regional Activities Center place type. The B2 district is inconsistent with the RAC place type. However, the design and layout of the site better aligns to the recommended place type than the existing development within the shopping center. Proposed development on the site complies with the prescribed conditions for accessory drive-throughs under the UDO by placing the principal structure along the street with a shallow setback and placing the drive-through lane and associated facilities such as pickup windows and order speakers to the side and rear of the building. But the site does not meet the prescribed condition of having been developed with a drive-through prior to the adoption of the UDO. However, the proposed zoning is a legacy district, the B2 CD SPA district, and does comply with the standards of the zoning ordinance, which is the ordinance that this site will be held to. The site continues the predominant pattern of low-rise auto-oriented commercial developments that make up the area. The site is within a quarter-mile walking distance of the existing Long Creek Greenway, which enhances pedestrian access to the site and other commercial developments from the surrounding residential areas. The proposal calls for the number of principal buildings to not exceed 1. The site allows for up to 4,300 square feet of EDE with accessory drive-through or up to 6,000 square feet of other permitted uses. The following uses are permitted: retail, general, medical office, personal services, EDEE type 1 and 2, with and without drive-throughs, financial institutions, etc. The plan specifically prohibits things such as outdoor entertainment, automotive service stations, automotive sales and repair, storage yards, residential, that sort of thing. The following landscape, streetscape, and transportation improvements are proposed. The petitioner will maintain an 8-foot sidewalk and 8-foot planting strip along Reams Road. An existing 8-foot sidewalk will be maintained along North Lake Creek Drive, and a 6-foot sidewalk will be constructed along both sides of other internal streets. Evergreen landscaping will be used to screen the drive-through from abutting Reams Road. Parking areas will be screened with either a 3-foot wall or a 5-foot planting area, and the petitioner will dedicate any required rights of way prior to the issuance of the first CO. The following architectural standards are proposed. The building will be constructed of specified materials such as masonry, cementitious siding, glass, wood, and architectural metal panels. The proposed building will utilize 4-sided architecture, limiting expansive blank walls. Building placement and building design will focus treatments facing the public street and will include operable doors and increased transparency requirements. Blank walls will be limited and building elevations will be articulated. Following changes have been made since the public hearing. Plan removed parcel 025-221-13, which was at the corner of West W.T. Harris and Reams Road. Plan was reconfigured to place the proposed building between the street and the drive-through lane to meet the prescribed conditions for accessory drive-throughs under the UDO, and the number of proposed structures was reduced to 1. There are no outstanding issues. Staff recommends approval as the petition conforms to prescribed conditions for drive-throughs under the UDO, meets all applicable zoning requirements under the legacy zoning ordinance, and improves on the design standards found within the existing development. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much, Max. Do I hear any questions, comments? Mr. Ruffin.
Yes, for the millions and millions that are watching at home, can you just clarify what SPA means?
It stands for Site Plan Amendment. So it is an amendment to an existing approved site plan. So this is just it's just specific to this out parcel and doesn't encompass changes to the entire site which would require a overall rezoning.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Commissioner Winokur?
Could you show again what the parcels so that I can see which parcel was removed?
Yeah, so the top, so that was not updated, but it's just this parcel now. There were two parcels included and the petitioner has removed, go back one, the top one at the corner of W.T. Harris and Reams.
What's the zoning at the top one?
It's all B2 CD. But the SPA only affects this parcel and, yep, I apologize. The proposal was not updated between.
No, not at all. I just wanted to be clear. That's all. Thank you.
Anybody else got any questions, comments?
Yeah.
Do we have something from Wilden down there? Or is, no?
I just said it looks like an elephant.
It does look like an elephant and, yeah. Commissioner Russell, do you have a non-elephant related
I
comment?
do have a non-elephant related comment, more of a question. I don't know if staff necessarily has to answer it tonight, but one of the things that we're seeing, especially kind of out on that 45 loop or some of the outer parts of Charlotte, is that some of the lower intensity uses, low rise auto-centric uses are becoming more urban as more people move to Charlotte. And that's especially true around North Lake area and northern side of 45. So is staff giving any consideration to switching the view of that from suburban to a more urban and more dense development pattern?
So the policy map recommends the regional activity center, which is, it's the same activity center you'll find in Uptown. It's the most intense of any of our place types. So I think the long-term goal is to definitely urbanize this area. But that'll probably be a slow transition over the next at least 20 years. It's a 2040 plan. And for the time being, at least with this shopping center, we're working under the legacy ordinance. They haven't requested anything from the new UDO. They want to stick with the zoning that they do have, just a minor tweak to this one out parcel and not change the overall site. So while it's not really forwarding the goal of the comprehensive plan and the policy map, it's minimizing any negative impact it may have on the surrounding area by kind of incorporating those UDO standards.
Celia, you got something?
No.
Okay. One of the points that Max just made is that we are working here with a legacy rezoning wherein they did have approval for this and they are tweaking it. All the SPAing you can possibly do, and so those are the constraints. Again, back to the good versus great adventure. I think that this is good. If this weren't right up against Reams Road or we had different topography or there was more room on the site, then we could get the new design standards and everything met. But again, this has been an existing rezoning. So anybody else got any questions, comments? Do I hear a motion for the disposition of petition number 13 on or item number 13 on our agenda?
Motion Seeley to approve, having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition. I move that we recommend approval of petition number 2023-047 and the adoption of the consistency statement as it appears before us.
It's on tonight. We got the Seeley to Neely combo again. It's been moved by Seeley and seconded by Neely. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That one passes 6-0. We're on to item number 14 on our agenda, rezoning petition number 2023-111 by Tarun Jatani. And please accept my apologies if I have butchered that name. Michael, Dave, Claire, Michael, we have to.
All the above.
Yeah.
All right, 23-111. It's just under 2 acres on Henderson Circle, just off of Old Statesville Road. It's currently zoned MHP, which is Manufactured Home Park Zoning District. The requested zoning is to take that parcel to Neighborhood 1C. Adopted place type on the 2040 policy map does call for Neighborhood 1 in this location, so the request is consistent. It is a conventional request, so no outstanding issue, no site plan, no significant concerns from staff. We are recommending approval, and we'll take any questions you have.
Okay. Thank you, Dave. Does anybody have any questions, comments, issues, concerns, thoughts? If not, do I hear a motion for the disposition of item number 14 on our agenda?
Russell. Having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, I move that we recommend approval of petition 2023-111 as it appears before us and the adoption of the consistency statement as it appears before us.
Second, Neely.
It's been moved by Russell and seconded by Neely. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes 6-0. Item number 15 on our agenda is rezoning petition number 2023-125 by Clay Robinson. And Holly, would you take us through this, please?
Yes, thank you. The site is just over 8 acres at the intersection of Tipton Drive and Statesville Avenue. This is in an area where we have largely commercial and industrial uses. It's mostly zoned manufacturing and logistics 1 with a small portion zoned N2B at the southwestern corner there. Is no existing N2B type uses on the site. It just has a little bit of that zoning in that area. They are requesting innovation mixed use as this part of this petition. The policy map's recommendation mirror the existing zoning of the site. So we have MNL recommended for the MNL 1 portion of the site and neighborhood 2 recommended for the N2B portion of the site. This is a conventional petition, so there is no associated site plan. Staff recommends approval of it. The application of the IMU district is intended for areas such as these that have previously had industrial uses but are transitioning away to commercial, residential, or artisan industrial type uses. Although the petition would be inconsistent with the adopted place types, the petition would establish a better transition between the commercial industrial uses that we see to the north and the east of the site and the residential and institutional uses that exist to the south and west of the site. So shifting away the site from industrial zoning would allow for the site to act as a better buffer to those more sensitive land uses. And I'll take any questions.
Thank you very much, Holly. Do I have any comments, questions from the commission? If not, do I hear a motion for disposition of item number 15 on our agenda?
Wilden, having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, I move that we recommend approval of petition number 2023-125 as it appears before us.
Russell, second.
It's been moved by Wilden, seconded by Russell. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes 6-0. We're up to item number 16 on our agenda, rezoning petition number 2023-131 by Wen Quang Yi. I will give my apologies if I have not gotten that one correct. Emma, do you know the correct pronunciation?
No, I do not. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
thank you. You know who would know?
No,
Taylor Swift.
I mean,
Anyway, thank you. Would you please give us the information we need on this one?
yes, so petition 2023-131 is approximately 0.764 acres located along the east side of South Boulevard, north of East Woodlawn Road, and west of Connecting Road. The site is currently zoned ML2, Manufacturing and Logistics 2, and the requested zoning is for TOD-NC, Transit Oriented Development Neighborhood Center. The 2040 policy map calls for Community Activity Center, which is consistent. Staff does recommend approval of this petition. And I would just like to point out that the site is located 0.5 miles from the East Woodlawn Light Rail stop. through Google Maps, not as the crow flies. The proposed zoning is in an area with recent zonings to TOD designations. The formal industrial use in this area have recently been transitioning into uses compatible with the TOD and innovation mixed use designation, aligning with this conventional petition. The South Boulevard corridor is well serviced by bus routes to support the use and development associated with this proposal. And at the community meeting, the individual who was in attendance did support this petition because they felt it was a good way to bring some community back to South Boulevard. I will take any questions you may have.
Thank you very much, Emma. Anybody got any questions on this one? I will take a motion for the disposition of item number 16 on our agenda.
Motion to approve, Sealy. Having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, I move that we recommend approval of petition number 2023-131 in the adoption of the consistency statement as it appears right up there.
Russell, second.
It's been motioned by Sealy, seconded by Russell. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes 6-0. We're on to item number 17 on our agenda, rezoning petition number 2023-134 by Park South Town Home Community LLC. Did that little flourish of music come out of me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I often think of myself as Tinkerbell, in a certain way. Anyway, our own little Tinkerbell here in the room, Holly, would you please take us through this? Tinker your bell away.
So kind. Site is just under 1 acre along the west side of Park South Drive in the periphery of the South Park area. As we can see in the aerial image, it is currently zoned neighborhood 1A, and they're proposing to go to neighborhood 1F conditional, which is consistent with that neighborhood 1 place type designation. The proposal would allow for up to 10 units in a configuration of 2 triplexes along the Park South Drive frontage and 1 quadplex to the rear. There would be a 10-foot Class C landscape yard around the perimeter of the site, and they also orient a big portion of their tree-safe area at that rear of the site. The proposal transportation provisions would include a commitment to construct an ADA compliant bus stop, and freestanding lighting fixtures would be fully capped and shielded. Staff recommends approve. Maybe I skipped a step. Actually, let me pause and go back. This went to public hearing back in January. And as you might remember, there was some opposition, and it was mostly in regards to stormwater and stormwater concerns in the area. So since the public hearing, the petitioner went back and worked with the stormwater team to work out some additional notes that they could add to the site plan. So they did add one note, and it states that the petitioner intends to connect the site's stormwater discharge to the existing Charlotte storm pipe system located west of the site, either on-site or off-site. The petitioner will make a good faith effort to secure a storm drainage easement from an adjoining property owner. However, if existing storm pipe infrastructure does not exist on the site, the petitioner is obligated to connect underground. And stormwater reviewed that, and they were good with that language. But they decided to add that in just to speak to what was discussed at the public hearing. That was the only change. We deferred this because there was a question about the tree safe area on the site, but we've resolved that, and now there are no outstanding issues. So staff does recommend approval of it, and I'll take any questions.
Thanks, Holly. That didn't sound like they actually resolved whether or not there was a connection for stormwater on the adjacent site. The language that you mentioned. Am I mishearing that or not?
I don't know that you're mishearing it. It's just that I think they didn't know yet how exactly it needs to connect. So they wanted to build in language saying what good faith efforts would be made, and that they have to connect underground if the existing storm pipe infrastructure does not exist on the site.
Okay. All right. Does anybody else have a question, comment about this one? It seems as though good faith is good faith, so we'll go with that. Do I hear a motion for the disposition of item number 17 on our agenda, rezoning petition 2023-134?
This is Russell. Having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, I move that we recommend approval of petition number 2023-134 as it appears before us and the adoption of the consistency statement as it appears before us.
Second, Wilden.
It's been moved by Russell and seconded by Weldon. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? That passes 6-0. Item number 18 on our agenda, rezoning petition number 2023-138 by Sankofa Partners LLC. Emma, would you take us through this one, please?
Yes, this is petition 2023-138. It is approximately 0.28 acres located along the north side of Rosl's Ferry Road and the southwest side of West Trade Street, west of Betty's Ford Road. The current zoning is NC Neighborhood Center. The requested zoning is TODCC, Transit Oriented Development Community Center. The 2040 policy map calls for Neighborhood Center. Staff does recommend approval of this petition. It is inconsistent with the 2040 policy map. However, this zoning is appropriate for this area, even though it is inconsistent, because the TODCC zoning is classified as parcels near moderate intensity rapid transit stations and streetcar stops. This site is located within a 1/4 of a mile of the Bruins Avenue Gold Line streetcar transit stop, as Google Maps says, not as the crow flies. I will take any questions staff may, or zoning committee may have.
Thank you very much. And have you used the Google Gemini? That's, yeah.
Honestly, I just use Google Maps and then I just like, here's the streetcar, here's the parcel, and then I just do like a little walk emoji.
Okay. I am Hitler on Google Gemini. I just thought I'd tell you that. Now, I have a question. Are there any other TOD parcels aligned near the, what is that, the Gold Line and the new Gold Line extension? I didn't pull out far enough to see if there were any other parcels that had been, they wouldn't have been realigned when we did the other alignment, but I just didn't know if we pulled anything else in over there yet. I mean, I understand the rationale for getting that. That's perfectly fine. I was just curious as to if this was the first or the last or where we were in that.
Could I follow up with you on that? Just because I want to, I want to look at the policy map and that is a window that I just don't have open right now, but I
Okay.
can follow up with you on that if you're okay with that.
That's fine. Again, I understand the justification for wanting TOD here, and that's very clear to me. Hopefully it's clear to everybody else. There's railroad tracks right out in front, right?
Actually, yeah, I think they literally go.
They really do. And so that's perfectly fine. I don't have any questions or issues there. Anybody else got anything they want to say? Is that Commissioner Wilden?
Yes, my pizza place is in this place, so, just fine.
How far is this from your house?
This is like maybe 5 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe.
Can you take the Gold Line down there? It's free,
Mm-hmm. Oh, never mind, I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. Anyways, so I read in the petition that there was gonna be adaptive reuse. Love it. Keep doing that. I'm in support of this. Secretly hope that they keep my pizza place, but I am in support of this.
Random question. Why is Johnson C. Smith zoned N2B?
Oh, that's not good.
That might be a question for Dave. Okay.
Are we gonna get another one?
No, sir. So are we gonna get a text amendment?
Having been in with all of when they were doing the rezonings, I think I could probably figure out a reason why they did that, but that's another story for another day. Anybody else have any questions, comments? Are you ready to give us some?
He's at the ready. He's ready to,
Commissioner
he's ready to go.
Another day yet?
It is on the other side of the world.
Winiker, move to approve, having reviewed the petition, considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve the petition. I move we recommend approval of petition number 2023-138 as it appears before us.
Neely, second.
It's been motioned by Winiker and seconded by Neely. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 6-0. We're up to item number 20. 19. You know, sometimes you flip your thing here and it rolls past where your stuff is supposed to be at. Item 19, that's the one we're on?
Yes.
Rezoning petition number 2023-142 by Abacus Capital. And Claire, would you take us through this?
Absolutely. 2023-142 is 3.7 acres on Tuckasegee Road, just between J Street and Thrift Road. It is currently zoned ML2. And the requested zoning, as we've seen for a lot of parcels in this lower Tuck area, go into IMU, Innovation Mixed Use, which is the adopted place type for the majority of this area, which was intended to allow these types of transitions to continue to take place and get some adaptive reuse and redevelopment, which this petition would continue to facilitate those outcomes. It's a conventional petition. Staff does recommend approval. No outstanding issues, no site plan, no major concerns from staff. And again, it is consistent, and we'll take any questions you might have.
Thank you, Dave. Anyone have a question, comment? If not, do I hear a motion for the disposition of item number 19 on our agenda?
Motion Seeley, having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, I move that we recommend approval of petition number 2023-142 and the adoption of the consistency statement as it appears before us.
Second, Neely.
Again, it's been motioned by Seeley and seconded by Neely. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 6-0. We're on to item number 20, rezoning petition number 2023-143 by Abacus Capital. And Emma, would you take us through this, please?
Petition 2023-143 is approximately 6.6 acres located on the northwest side of Toomey Avenue, north of West Tremont Avenue, and east of Interstate 77. The current zoning is ML1, Manufacturing and Logistics 1. The requested zoning is IMU, Innovation Mixed Use. The 2040 policy map calls for manufacturing and logistics, which makes it consistent. Staff does inconsistent. Staff does recommend approval of this petition, and I will take any questions zoning committee may have.
Thank you, Emma. Does the commission have any questions, comments? If not, can I hear a motion for the disposition of item number 20 on our agenda, rezoning petition 2023-143?
Winiker, move to approve. Having reviewed the petition, considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, I move we recommend approval of petition number 2023-143 as it appears before us.
That motion has been made by Winiker and seconded by Russell. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 6-0. We're on to item number 21 on our agenda, rezoning petition number 2023-146 by TMP Properties LLC. Max, would you take us through this, please?
Yes, not wanting to feel left out. Petition 2023-146 located on the north side of Tuckasegee Road, west of Gesco Street and south of State Street. It's approximately 1.2 acres and is currently developed. It's a warehouse. Site is zoned ML2. Proposed zoning is IMU. 2040 policy map recommends the IMU place type. The petition is consistent with that place type. This is a conventional rezoning petition. There's not associated site plan and would permit any use allowed in the IMU district. Staff recommends approval of the petition. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much, Max. Were you guys having a sale on IMU rezonings there?
Fire sale, get them while they're hot.
I don't know. That could have been a 2-for-1 or something like that.
They're on clearance right now. Did you know that?
That's it.
Just wait a few more petitions. I'll be right back up here with more
Okay.
IMU for sale.
I love IMU. Does anyone have any questions, comments about this besides the fact that the parcel looks like a meat cleaver?
Oh, I think it looks like a paint.
A paintbrush? Can we see the petition or the parcel again, Emma?
So gentle.
I like the knife.
The meat cleaver, it's more meat cleaver than paintbrush. I'm sorry.
That knife won't.
Yeah. Is there a legitimate question in any of this? Okay, that's what I thought. Do I hear a motion for the disposition of item number 21 on our agenda, rezoning petition number 2023-146?
Having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff, I approve this petition. I move that we,
It's a new tongue. Try it out.
I move that we recommend approval of petition number 2023-146 as it appears before us.
Neely, second.
That one's been motioned by Wilden and seconded by Neely. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes 6-0. We're up to item number 22 on our agenda, rezoning petition number 2023-147 by Hendrick Automotive Group. And I guess we're back to faux Michael this time instead of faux Claire.
I'm happy to take on the role. 2023-147, 17.3 acres on Twin Lakes Parkway, which is just north of I-485. It is currently zoned ML1, and they would like to go to ML1 conditional. And the policy map calls for manufacturing logistics, so that request would be consistent. The proposal would allow for the development of a vehicle repair facility major, as well as a vehicle repair facility minor, vehicle dealership, outdoor car wash, which would not be open to the public, warehouse, distribution center, wholesale goods establishment, office, and all other commercial and industrial uses. Permitted under the ML1 district, does prohibit some things like adult electronic gaming, animal shelters, drive-through establishments, beneficial field sites, crematorium, cemetery, the list goes on. Proposes to incorporate streetscape improvements to include a 6-foot sidewalk and 8-foot planting strip on Twin Lakes Parkway along that frontage, and then a 10-foot and 50-foot landscape buffer, with the 10-foot being around the majority of the site and then the 50-foot being around that piece of property that fronts I-485. Staff does recommend approval. I'm happy to say the outstanding issue has also been resolved. We got confirmation from CDOT yesterday afternoon that they had worked to resolve that. So we will see some updated notes on the conditional plan that gets submitted after zoning committee. But again, all issues have been resolved. It is consistent, and we are recommending approval, and we'll take any questions.
Thank you very much, Dave. I have a question. We've seen, I feel like in the last several months, a number of these where it's been rezoning requesting auto repair major versus minor.
Yep.
Was that intended, or is that one of those things where it's like, oh, if we change the language a little bit, we might not have had to do that?
I don't, it was one of those that we tried to capture certain uses that we want it to fall under conditional use, which are a lot of the auto-oriented uses, but I think auto-serving uses like this got pulled into it somewhat, maybe a little bit more than we needed to. That is being cleaned up in the text amendment cleanup that was just filed, I think either today. Yeah, I believe it was filed today, which would still keep gas stations, drive-throughs, and your, true auto-oriented uses, but the auto repair facilities that we've seen in ML1 and CG where they're already zoned for it, but they have to go through that step.
Yeah.
That's something that we are considering or proposing to remove. There'll still be prescribed conditions, but it won't take that extra step of going through a conditional zoning for, auto repair facilities. But again, your gas stations, drive-throughs, and those other auto-oriented uses would stay conditional.
Okay, thanks. I feel like we've done 3 or 4 of these
and
of late, and just wondering. Good to hear that staff is on that. Anyone else have a question, comment? Commissioner Wilden.
Can you explain the comp thing, the comp thing, where it says diverse, this would help facilitate diverse and resilient economic opportunity? Because when I'm looking at the map, it is surrounded by car stuff. And I'm like, that's a lot of car stuff, and that's not diverse at all.
That is mainly attributed to uses that would create job opportunities, economic development type opportunities. So when we see industrial zoning districts being requested, typically they're job generators in some form for, various parts of the population. So that's why we usually check that goal as being met, just because it would create other job opportunities that don't currently exist on the site today.
You good?
Yep.
Anyone else have a question, comment? If not, do I hear a motion for the disposition of item number 22, rezoning petition 2023-147?
Neely, motion to approve. Having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, I move that we recommend approval of petition number 2023-147 and the adoption of the consistency statement.
Do I have a second?
Russell, second.
It's been moved by Neely and seconded by Russell. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That passes 6-0. We're on to item number 23, rezoning petition number 2023-148 by the RMR Group LLC. And Joe, will you take us through this one?
Thank you. Petition 2023-148 is just over a half acre located on the south side of Peterson Drive, west of Harriet Avenue and north of Yancey Road, lower south end area. The current zoning is N1D. Requested zoning is Todd NC. 2040 policy map recommends neighborhood 1 place type for the site. However, a lot of community activity center place type surrounding it, as well as parcels zoned some form of TOD. It's within a half mile of the Scaly Bark Blue Line Station. Staff recommends approval, and I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Joe. My question is it HERIOT or HERRIOT? Because HERIOT does not come up on Google Maps, by the way. Just thought I'd let you know. Yeah, but that's a nerd thing.
Mislabeling, perhaps?
I don't know. It was a
Very short street.
It's a very short street. So, anybody else got a relevant question? Comment? If not, can I hear a motion for the disposition of item number 23 on our agenda, rezoning petition 2023-148?
Winokur, move to approve, having reviewed the petition, considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve the petition. I move we recommend approval of petition number 2023-148 as it appears before us.
Neely, second.
It's been moved by Winokur and seconded by Neely. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes 6-0. We're up to item number 24 on our agenda. Rezoning petition number 2023-149 by Dickerson Realty Florida, Inc. And Claire, would you do us the favor?
Certainly, 2023-149. It is at the intersection, at the tail end of South Graham Street, just off of Carson, even though there's not significant frontage on there. It's currently zoned ML2, and they would like to rezone the property to TOD-UC to incorporate it into the TOD zoning that's just adjacent to this and surrounding the majority, or in the area of the majority of the property. Place type map or policy map does recommend a regional activity center, so TOD-UC is consistent with that request. It is a conventional request. So no outstanding issues, no site plan. It's within a half mile of the Carson Station. UC can be applied in that general vicinity of a TOD station. And again, it is consistent with the Regional Activity Center. And we'll take any questions you may have. God bless you.
Thank you, Dave. Does anyone have any questions, comments? Does this one look like a paintbrush or a meat cleaver? No.
Tetris.
It's a Tetris piece.
Tetris piece? Whoa. All right, I'm good with that. If I have no questions, comments, do I have a motion about item number 24 on our agenda, rezoning petition 2023-149?
Well, Well, I just noticed it said TOS UC.
Yeah,
But,
that's a new district that we
yeah.
haven't shared with anyone yet. No,
Okay.
it's TOD.
But yeah, so motion to approve the new TOS, no, I'm just kidding. Motion to approve Sealy, having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition. A motion that we recommend approval of petition number 2023-149 and the adoption of the consistency statement as it appears before us.
Russell, second.
It's been moved by Sealy and seconded by Russell. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes 6-0. And yeah. Up to item number 25, rezoning petition number 2023-153 by Sterling Development LLC. And Emma, would you take us through this one, please?
Yes, this is petition 2023-153. It is approximately 1.9 acres located on the west side of Taggart Creek Road, south of Boyer Street and east of Billy Graham Parkway. The current zoning is ML2 Airport Noise District Overlay, and the requested zoning is ML1 Airport Noise District Overlay. The 2040 policy map calls for manufacturing and logistics. This petition is consistent with the 2040 policy map, and staff does recommend approval. I do just want to point out that ML2 is technically a heavy, more intense manufacturing zoning, and ML1 is less intense. It's a little more of a old light industrial. So they're going from a higher intensity to a lower intensity. I'll take any questions you may have.
Thank you, Emma. Do we have any questions or comments from Commissioner? If not, do I hear a motion for the disposition of item number, can't see it right now because I need to zoom back to my doodah. Oh, God. Well, I don't know what item that is.
25.
Yeah, 25, item number 25. Do I hear a disposition? Anybody got a motion?
All right, Russell, having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, I move that we recommend approval of petition 2023-153 as it appears before us and adoption of the consistency statement as it appears before us.
Second, Sealy.
Moved by Russell and seconded by Sealy. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. And those opposed? That passes 6-0. We're up to 26, rezoning petition number 2023-158 by Kinsale Properties. Max, would you take us through this?
Petition 2023-158 is located at the southwest intersection of Tuckasegee Road and J Street, east of Thrift Road. Site's approximately 0.99 acres and is currently developed with a warehouse. Site is zoned ML2. The proposed zoning is IMU. The 2040 policy map recommends the innovation mixed use place type. The INU district is consistent with this place type. Staff recommends approval of this petition. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much, Max. Does anybody have any questions or comments about this petition? Hearing none, do I hear a motion on the disposition of item number 26, rezoning petition 2023-158?
Neely, motion to approve.
Having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, I move that we recommend approval of petition number 2023-158 and the adoption of the consistency statement.
Second, Sealy.
It's been motioned by Neely, seconded by Sealy. All those in favor of this motion, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That petition passes 6-0. We're up to item number 27, rezoning petition number 2023-159 by Pulte Home Company LLC. Dave, would you take us through this one, please?
Certainly. 2023-159 is 28.4 acres off of Beatty Drive. It's really just south of Old Dowd Road and near the intersection there with Amos Smith Road and Brickyard Extension. It is currently zoned MHP, Manufactured Home Park, and the requested zoning is a conventional N1E district. Adopted place type is Neighborhood 1, and the N1E district certainly is consistent with that. Staff does recommend approval of the petition. We did have an outstanding item at the hearing from Mecklenburg County Park and Rec asking for potential dedication of some land for some public open space. Working with the petitioner and coordinate with them, realize that it's not a feasible outcome. So Mecklenburg County Park and Rec have rescinded their request. That came in Friday after the agenda was published, so that's why it's still reflected as an outstanding issue. But that issue is considered resolved. And again, it is consistent with the policy map recommendation, and staff does recommend approval, and we'll take whatever questions you have.
Thank you very much, Dave. Commissioner Winokur.
So what's the density of N1E?
So N1E, I believe, came from, we go back and just double check my.
Sure.
There. I believe that was, actually N1E didn't translate from one of our existing districts except for UR1, which didn't really have a density cap. So it could range anywhere from 8 units per acre, potentially 12. It just depends on how many units they end up deciding to build, but it would allow duplex, single family detached duplex, triplex units built on that site.
Right. So it could end up being all single family,
It could, yeah, it could end up being.
whatever the developer wants to do.
It could be a mix of those unit types, it could be all triplexes, could be all duplexes. It's just, or what they choose to pursue market wise.
And during the hearing, one of the reasons the developer's agent noted for problems with development on the property was that there's a Norfolk Southern rail line on the southern border of the property that would have an easement on it. And
Sorry, I need to turn my mic on there.
That's-
Yeah, that is correct. There is a railroad easement which does take up some considerable portion of the site on the southern part. Between that and some other environmental constraints and tree save and open space requirements, I think they're probably looking at anywhere from 8 to 10 acres of maybe set aside undevelopable area.
so the what are the open space requirements?
I believe 15% max. Do you off the top of your head? I can't recall if it's 15. or-
Okay.
I think it is
The
15.
minimum
That's fine.
free save would be 15%. But, and then there's maximum building coverage. provision,
And
things like that.
Park and Rec's ask typically is 5% of properties that are over 20 acres, right?
It's either, I think it's 5. yeah.
5%.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I just remember if it was 5 or 10. I have 5. Yeah, it's 5.
Their ask was 1.49, but if you were to take away, for instance, the section where you have the rail easement, the remaining acreage would be about 25 acres or so, translating to about 1.25 acres is the ask.
Yeah, and the requirements for open space across the site would actually, I believe, calculate out to more than what the county was asked for that they'd have to set aside.
Right, for the open space, private open space.
Yeah, yeah. just-
So it could be a gated community.
Yeah, it could be just accessible to the residents that live there. It wouldn't necessarily be publicly accessed.
And do you have a wider image? Is there a?
Yeah, I think we have one more slide before this one should be. Yeah.
Yeah, and to the west of it there is a large preserve,
Yes.
nature preserve.
Yeah, that
So
not many
it'll
folks
be-
know about.
Hmm?
That not many folks know about, but it is a.
So it'll be one of the lowest density developments offering what could end up being private, single-family gated community right next to one of the biggest nature preserves in the county with no contribution to Park and Rec.
Unless they work something out in permitting or they do something outside of the rezoning process.
But at this point, it doesn't look like there would be any, I mean,
Right.
and it was never required.
Yeah, it was a request from them. They realized with some of the constraints the developers shared with them that it wasn't going to be feasible for them to do a public dedication. So that's what they decided to just pull their request for.
It would cost them more money.
Yeah.
They could have gone to higher density. And you know, depending on whatever their secret plans are, which they don't have to divulge.
Right.
They could go to higher density, commit some public land, but they've chosen not to.
It's always a possibility that they could have gone to a different district and committed to something with more units to offset the loss of some of the land to public open space. But yeah, they're just sticking with the N1E conventional, and that's what they're working through now.
Thank you. Just want to be clear on that. Thank you, David.
No problem. Thank you.
Anyone else got any questions, comments? I have one for CDOT, folks, just to make sure that you're still actually on the call. Jake, I know you're not in the room with us. Yeah. Oops. Isaiah, he's on the ball. He's all smiles. I received an email this afternoon. I don't know if the rest of you got it or not, from Norma Arnold. And she had a couple of concerns, and hopefully I will get all these out, related to Beatty Drive and the ability of that road to support any additional traffic. I think, to paraphrase her comment here, is Beatty Drive is less than a two-way road. And I realize that we don't have a site plan for this, but my understanding is that when you have multiple adjacent roads, that there has to be some connectivity on all of those roads. If you guys could just give me some clarity about that, and then I got to follow up.
Generally speaking, for the road itself, they'd have to upgrade their side of the road. Depending on what product they bring in and the density of that, it could trigger some of our CTR requirements, which would then open them up to doing some turn lanes and maybe other things, just depending on what comes in. I think I missed your first question related to the connectivity internally, though.
Well, just the comment she makes is that the road is apparently narrow. Obviously, it is in the ETJ. So she also expresses a concern that CDOT wouldn't be the people dealing with this, and it just wanted to get some clarity on that. And it doesn't matter one way or another, but how is this road going to grow and handle the traffic, I guess?
They would still have to adhere to our ordinances, even in the ETJ. It's just they also have to go through NCDOT as well.
That sounds like fun.
Right. Both organizations
no one ever
reviewing and making sure that what we can do and what we're allowed to hold them to from the ordinances, we will still be able to do that.
Okay. Thank you very much. The follow-up question is a comment about the bridge over the Catawba River on 74. And I'm not sure I necessarily follow this, but the comment from in this email says that the replacement bridge over the Catawba River is scheduled to begin in 2024. This will have a major impact on Beatty Road and Brickyard Road and Amos Smith Road and Old Dowd. I don't know if I guess I just want to put that comment out there. I don't necessarily see how it's going to have an effect because I'm not sure those roads take you to a place where you would want to go, because Brickyard just kind of dead ends into nothing. So I guess I don't really have a question there, Isaiah. I'm just saying these are the comments that are in the email. So I wanted to make sure that they were put out there. All right. Anybody else got any comments, questions, concerns? If not, do I hear a motion for the disposition of item number 27 on our agenda?
Motion to approve Sealy. Having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, I move that we recommend approval of petition number 2023-159 and the adoption of the consistency statement as we see before us now.
Neely, second.
Has been moved by Sealy and seconded by Neely. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That was a kind of a tired oppose. That one passes 5-1. I don't want to make you any more tired, but as the one, you have to have your comment.
I think I think that the low density is inconsistent with land use development for that area. And does not take into account adequate needs for resources.
Is that good? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
we were listening. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, that's right. That's right. This is all, for those of you watching at home, this is all on YouTube and you can watch this over and over again if you would like.
Is this
Yeah.
what you fall asleep to?
Yeah. This is this is meditation for those people out there.
Dave just like listens to our voices all night.
We're on to item number 28, rezoning petition number 2023-161 by Childers Klein Properties. Joe, would you not put us to sleep on this one?
I will try. I'm not sure I can vary my voice, that's not really natural for me, but
Winiker, you still awake?
I am.
All right, Joe, you're doing great so far, man.
Next time I'll bring a drum or something and keep us awake. 2023-161 is approximately 9.82 acres located on the east side of Beam Road, south of Pine Oaks Drive, and north of Cross Beam Drive. Current zoning is split zoned I1CD at the front of the property along Beam Road, and N1A to the rear is within the airport noise disclosure overlay. Requested zoning is ML1 airport overlay. The policy map calls for campus place type. While that's inconsistent, the majority of the sites already zoned I1CD and developed with a parking lot. Staff recommends approval, and I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Joe. What was the recommended place type again? Campus?
Campus.
Campus.
Oh,
Campus. I wish I'd thought earlier to pull up the bigger, because this is all that,
Bill.
the business park out on on Tyvola, right? Okay, that's where the campusness comes from then. Okay, all right, I'm fine. I was confused, but yeah. Anyway, we'll just say that I had a brain fart. Anyone have a question? Commissioner Wilden.
So with the new UDO definition of campus or the update, this would still be applicable. Oh, wait, no, we're moving. Never. Ignore me. I'm also tired and I have a party after this.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's the campus is a recommended place type. The zoning on the ground is an I1. So they're going to an ML, which works. And I think that we have a little bit before we are going to work through these flavors of campus to get to us. Because these are all things that are filed under some previous thing. So, all right. Anybody, with all that confusion, anybody got any questions, comments? If not, do I hear a motion for the disposition of item number 28 on our agenda, rezoning petition 2023-161?
Wilden, motion to approve, having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition. I move that we recommend approval of 2023-121 as it appears before us. 6-1. Sorry.
Do I hear a second?
Second, Neely.
It's been moved by Wilden, seconded by Neely. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All right, we're on to item number 29, which is only one item away, number 30, and we can be out of here. Rezoning petition number 2023-162 by Northwood Raven. This is Max.
Yes, petition 2023-162 is located on the west side of Providence Road, north of Fairview Road, and west of Columbine Circle. The site is approximately 36 acres and is currently developed with 2 new structured park apartment buildings and 17 garden-style apartment buildings dating from the 1960s. The site is currently zoned MUD-O SPA, Mixed-Use Development District Optional Site Plan Amendment. Proposed zoning is also MUD-O SPA, Mixed-Use Development District Optional Site Plan Amendment. 24 policy map 2040 policy map recommends the neighborhood 2 place type. The MUD district is consistent with the N2 place type. Little background, the site was rezoned in 2016 from R17 MFCD to MUD O to accommodate the redevelopment of multifamily site and allow up to 580 dwelling units. 2019, the site plan amendment was approved for MUD O to increase the number of dwelling units to 830 while committing to no fewer than 42 units of workforce housing. And in 2023, an administrative amendment was approved to this petition 2019-047 and was approved to convert 5 apartment buildings into 4 townhome buildings. Site plan amendment calls for the combination of 4 apartment buildings into 2 buildings. The combination of the buildings would not increase the overall unit count of 830. It increases the height of building 2 from 2 stories to 3, relocates the proposed amenity area farther from the western property boundary along the properties on Columbine Circle, reconfigures the urban open space located at the intersection of Private Street A and Private Street B, realigns Greenway dedication to Mecklenburg County Park and Recreation through the site, and staff recommends approval of this petition upon resolution of outstanding issues dealing with environment, as the site plan amendment does not increase the total number of proposed units, moves the amenity area farther from the western property boundary. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much, Max. Commissioners, again, we have the good old SPA in front of us. Do we have any questions, comments? If not, do I hear a motion for the disposition of item number 29, rezoning petition 2023-162? Excuse me.
Neely, motion to approve. Having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, I move that we recommend approval of petition number 2023-162 and adoption of the consistency statement.
Second, Wilden.
It's been moved by Neely and seconded by Wilden. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes 6-0. And now for our final drum roll of the evening, rezoning petition number 2023-178. And it looks like Ms. Grant has drawn the short straw by Crosland SE Communities. Joe, would you please take us through this?
Petition 2023-178 is just shy of 3 acres located south of Arrowwood Road, east of Microsoft Way, and north of Hanson Road. It's currently zoned OFC and requested zoning is RC-CDEX. The 2040 policy map calls for campus place type. Proposal is for a community of up to 100 multifamily stacked residential units. Petitioners requested several EX deviations from the standards. These are the ones that were presented at the public hearing. There'll be additional on the next slide. To allow application of the RC zoning district on a site less than 5 acres, to allow a reduction of the build-to zone percentage to 60%, to allow an increase in the build-to zone by 20 feet, and to allow surface parking and maneuvering within the established setback along the Hanson Road frontage. That last deviation I mentioned is not possible under the UDO. You're familiar with that one from MUD O rezonings under the legacy ordinance. They're also proposing the following EX benefits. Provides a housing program to ensure that at least 70% of the residential units are income restricted for households earning up to 80% of the area median income for a period of no less than 20 years, and provides a covered bus stop along the site's frontage or across Arrowwood Road from the site's frontage. Committing to an 8-foot planting strip and 12-foot shared use path along the site's Arrowwood Road frontage, and indicating a 20-foot setback from back of curb along Arrowwood Road and 16-foot setback along both Microsoft Way and Hanson Road. Since the public hearing and this petition, because it has an affordable component, was expedited, so the petitioner did not have a chance to submit a revised plan after receiving city comments. So that's why there's so many changes after hearing. But the petitioner addressed outstanding issues related to transportation and site and building design. Petitioner also added the following EX deviations to the conditional notes: to allow a reduction of the build-to zone percentage from 60% to 40% along the Hanson Road frontage, to allow the following increases in the build-to zones to accommodate tree save areas, curvature of abutting street frontages, and other site constraints. Arrowwood Road from 0 to 50 feet from the required 20-foot front setback. Microsoft Way 0 to 40 feet from the required 16 front setback. Hanson Road 0 to 210 feet from the required 16-foot front setback. Also, to reduce the minimum residential ground floor height within the RC zoning district to 10 feet, which aligns with the minimum residential ground floor height in various other zoning districts. To alter the vehicle parking requirements for the proposed senior living affordable housing development to utilize maximum 1 space per bedroom parking ratio for multifamily stacked, rather than the maximum of 0.75 space per dwelling unit for senior living multifamily stacked. And due to the proposed building being located over 100 feet from the Hanson Road frontage, no prominent primary pedestrian entry is required along this frontage. So there's still a few items to clean up following zoning committee. However, the petition is consistent with the campus place type, will provide some affordable housing units in the area, and I will take any questions.
Thank you very much, Joe. I will assume that you guys are moving close to getting, are there just 2 issues, I guess, I'm seeing here that are unresolved, outstanding? Unless I've missed one up here, it looks like the rest are addressed. Although that was a large number of changes, so I don't know.
Yeah, let me just double check that for you. My file open.
No one knows that we have an FBI building here. It's a secret.
Well, they better take it off Google Maps.
It looks like an
Open
LPS
secret.
building.
Yeah, Joe, it just looks like there's just a tree survey requirement and then some notes from CDOT on the CTR, which I think we talked about working through that in permitting, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
That's correct.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it's a right-of-way dedication, a note, just noting that CTR may be something that is needed in permitting, and then a tree survey that the petitioner knows is still needed, so.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, I guess these EX ones will have, if it goes through the normal process, you guys would have, the changes might not have as many changes as we're having at this point.
That's right.
But that just seemed like a lot for such a otherwise vaguely straightforward kind of petition. Anyone else have any questions, comments? If not, do I have a motion for the disposition of whatever item number 30 on our agenda, rezoning petition number 2023-178?
Wilden, motion to approve. Having reviewed the petition and considered the consistency statement prepared by staff to approve this petition, I move that we recommend approval of 2023-178 as it appears before us.
Russell, second.
Ooh, he beat you.
Oh, God, I brag on you people as being very bright. It has been moved by Wilden and seconded by Russell. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes 6-0. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for a lovely evening. Do I have a motion for us to adjourn this meeting and?
Motion to adjourn,
Go
Wilden.
All right, we will accept that. Thank you. Everybody, been lovely to have you here this evening.
Was the first one.
Yeah.